Hi, Mafe.
Hi, Andrea.
Hey there. So, okay, we need to kind of hurry up today. So, what we're going to be doing today, we need to look at this grammar that we have in the A4 unit, which is modals of possibility or probability, both in the simple present and in the past. And if we got time, reflexive or reciprocal pronouns. Right? Because, by the way, well, not tomorrow because we don't have classes tomorrow, right? Because of the holiday.
Okay.
But we will have class on Wednesday and we're going to be having our quiz then. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So any questions before we start?
No.
Okay. So let's look at this playlist. All right. So mind reading instructions.
Amy's in the student lounge at the university. She's talking with Jackie. Talia has just arrived. Look at the picture. Talia's talking to Jackie for the first time. Predict. What do you think Talia says to her? I think I remember where I've seen you.
Okay, probably. What do you think Talia's strategy is? Why do you think she's approaching her so directly? What do you think she will do?
No, maybe she said, "Oh, I think I know you. I haven't seen you. I think you're famous." And then she will be very friendly with her, and Jackie will think that she is famous, and then I don't know. Then they at the time they become friends or meet. I don't know. Talk each other. Talk about I don't know acting class. They will. Talia will talk about Dean and Nate Crawford story and what happened, and maybe that Nate Crawford is her friend, and what will happen to him, about he will be suspended. So maybe Jackie will feel sorry about him and tell the truth, maybe.
Okay, all right. So yes, that's a very plausible theory. Maybe she will come forward and tell the truth. Maybe. We're gonna see.
Amy, great to see you again.
You too. Jackie, this is Talia. Talia, this is Jackie.
Charmed. Charmed.
Nice to meet you too.
Talia is a researcher at Newsline.
How exciting.
Gee, you look so familiar.
Really? We might have seen each other around campus.
I guess so. Or we may have been in a class together. I'm taking journalism classes.
No, it couldn't have been a class then. I'm taking theater classes, like Amy.
Oh well, I'll probably think of it later.
Speaking of classes, I'd better run. Can't be late for Professor Roberts.
Hold it. I think I remember where I've seen you.
Really?
Yes. The Gower building.
Okay. So what
She was
was
very direct.
very direct? And what was Jackie's reaction?
She was scared about how she saw there.
Yeah, she definitely seems scared. Okay. So the first one, Amy introduces Talia. What does Amy say about her?
She said that Talia works in journalism.
Yes. And where does Jackie think Talia might have seen her?
Walking around the university.
Walking around, yep. And why does Jackie say, I better run?
She has to go to class.
Yes, she's gotta go to class. And finally, at the end of the scene, what does Talia tell Jackie?
That she saw her at the Gore building.
Yeah, that she saw her at the Go building. Okay. Okay, great. Nice. Okay, so what we'll be looking at is, I don't know if you've heard the last part, when Talia was guessing, Talia was trying to guess where she had seen Jackie before, and she was like, I think I may have seen you maybe on campus, or it might have been, I don't know, it might have been in some class, or we may take some classes together. So those are basically the modal verbs that she's using to express probability, right? Because she's not sure, she's trying to guess. So when you are trying to do the same thing, when you're trying to guess about the possibility or the probability of something, you're not 100% sure, you use those modal verbs. And that's what we're gonna be looking at. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. So as you know, there are many different types of modals, and what we're going to be looking at right now is models of probability or possibility. So basically, when we're not 100% sure of something, or when we're trying to guess something, try to think about what could be or it could have been in the past. So that's what we're going to see.
But these models are different about the models of permission and request.
Yes, sometimes a modal can have different uses, right? For example, the modal can. You can say can for ability. I can fly, I can read. You can use it for permission as well, like can I don't know, can I speak? And you can also use it for possibility or probability, right? For example, you could say it can be right, or this can be happening to me. So sometimes a modal may have more than just one use. So you may see some verbs that we have already seen, but right now we're looking at the use when you're trying to guess something. So here it is. Okay, so these are the ones that we have in the book. Now the first one is must, and these are all ordered in a scale of from how sure you are to how unsure you could be. Now, okay, so hold on. The ones that are in pink, the two first ones, are for affirmative sentences, when you're taking a guess on something that could be in affirmative. And the other ones are for negative guesses, so negative sentences. Now we have must, may, might, could, can't, couldn't, must not, may not, may not. And as you may realize, these are just the negatives of these ones. Now let's take a look at each one of them. Now the first one we have, must, is used when you're almost 100% sure of something. It's the same as in Spanish, right? You use debe. So I don't know, maybe if I'm trying to guess something pretty sure of it, maybe I could say something like, okay, the water, or maybe the grass is wet. It must have rained. So I'm pretty sure because I have some evidence, you know, so the grass is wet right now, so it must have rained. So I use must when you're almost 100% sure of something and when you have some evidence to prove it. Then we also have may, might, and could, which are the three of them used for the same thing, where you're just guessing. You're not 100% sure. You're taking a guess, so it could be or it couldn't be. So it's like you're 75% sure. Might, may, and could. Okay, so the same thing. Then you have can't or couldn't in negative for things that couldn't be true no matter what. Then we have must not, and may not, and might not. Okay, we have the present and the past. Right now we'll be looking at this with some examples. Any questions so far?
No, it's clear.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at this.
It cut off and I can't hear you. Andrea? Wrong.
I'm so sorry. Okay. So here are some examples. Remember what we were saying about the structure? As any modal verb, you just need the modal and then the base form of the verb. So might be, could be, must be. It's always the base form of the verb, whatever it is. Okay, so that's the structure. And now if we're looking at the uses of it, let's take a look at some examples. Now with must, as we were saying, you usually need to be pretty sure, almost 100%, which means that you gotta have some evidence proving what you're saying. For example, here, we know that this person didn't come to the office. He didn't come to the office. He reported himself sick. So therefore, he must be in bed. So you're taking a guess because you don't really know. There's no way that you could know this, but you have strong evidence. You have hard evidence there. So you can make that you can come to that conclusion, you know, so you're almost 100% sure, right? When you use must, you have evidence and you're almost sure. Okay, so is that okay so far with must?
Yeah.
Okay, now these ones here, may or might, they are a bit softer than must. So must is a bit stronger. May and might is when you're not that sure, like you're like 80% sure. So for example, if you just say out of nowhere, he may not come today, you don't really know, you don't really have that much evidence. Maybe you're basing this on, I don't know, something that that you don't really know for sure. Like for example, I don't know, it's raining and he doesn't like to get wet, so he may not come today. But you really don't have strong evidence. You're just taking a guess out of nowhere. Now, the same here, I might be late today. So I might or might not be late today. It depends on maybe how traffic it is. Traffic is awful. So there's a chance that I might, there's a chance that I'm not gonna be late. It's basically, it depends on luck, you know, or on something random. So that's when you're not so sure. May or might. Okay.
They're
And
the same.
yeah, they mean exactly the same.
Okay.
And then you have could, which is almost the same as may or might, maybe a bit less, maybe I would say 70%. So chances are you have both ways. So this could be the reason why he didn't want to go. When you use could, you're usually just implying that it's a possibility, but you're not saying that it is, you're not saying that it's the best possibility, you're just implying that it is a possibility out there. So this could be the reason why he didn't want to go. So it could be one of the reasons, it could not be the reason. You're just acknowledging that there's that chance, you know, like the same in Spanish, you say, esta podría ser la razón, but you don't know, there's no way of knowing. You're just kind of, you know, guessing.
And might not. How could be in Spanish?
May not or might. Well, you could say poder, like puede que no venga hoy, o puede que llegue tarde, or maybe podría, right? So may is poder, might is podría. So I may not come today, puede que no vaya hoy, or I might be late today, podría llegar tarde.
It could.
So could is podría as well.
Mhm.
So yeah. Usually could is a bit more used than might, and then may as well. Well, may and could, I would say, but between could and might, when you're speaking, usually could is a bit less formal, I would say.
But these are like the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's just could is more common, maybe because it's another form of can, you know, so. Okay. And then when you're not, when you're sure that something didn't happen, so you're almost 100% sure, but in the negative way. So that something didn't happen or that something cannot happen, then you use can't or couldn't. So for instance, he was here 5 minutes ago. He can't be home by now. So you're almost sure and you have evidence. You know, it's like it's equivalent for must in negative. So can, couldn't, or must not. So he was here 5 minutes ago. He can be home. He couldn't be home or he must not be home yet. The three of them are like, it's equivalent.
Okay.
And if you're not so sure, you don't have that much evidence, then you can use might, may not, or might not. So the same that we have here, right? May not or might not. I'm sorry, I might not be able to do it. Or I may not be able to go to your party.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance. And this is like maybe 70. So that's it. Okay, any questions so far?
No.
Okay. And now if we're talking about the past, this is more like speculations. So here the grammar is a bit different. That's the only thing that changes. Their uses are exactly the same. The only thing that changes is that obviously you're speculating about the past. So you're trying to guess what happened in the past. You're speculating about the past. For example, this is something that usually, I don't know, people who study history do. So people who study history, they tend to speculate over what happened or what didn't happen in the past. So they use this a lot. Now the structure is the modal verb, may, might, could, can, whatever it is, have, and then the past participle of the verb. So he must, the modal, have, and then the past participle. He must have been sick. He may have left, might have forgot. Okay, that's the structure.
Mhm.
And the uses are the same, exactly the same. The only difference is that in this case it's for the past. So if you have evidence, you're almost 100% sure, you can use must. So that day he didn't go to work and he reported himself sick. So he must have been in bed or he must have been sick. It's the same, but in the past. Now, if you're not too sure, I wonder why he didn't see him. He may have left early. So you're not that sure. He may have, he may not have, you don't know. Or might have. We should check before we leave. We might have forgotten something. So you're not that sure. Like 80. And could have been the same as could be, could have been in the past. So Maria could have been the one who framed Nick. Could have been, but we don't know. There's a chance, but we don't really know. Okay, so that's for affirmative ones. And for negative ones, the same thing, just in the past. So that day he was in the office at 10 p.m. So
When do we use this past? If we want to talk about past, or I mean,
yeah, like if you want,
so we talk about in the past, but in what case?
when you want to guess something about the past or speculate about the past, when you don't know what happened in the past, so you're taking a guess. You know, you're just guessing, you're speculating. For example, in the first one, you know, if your colleague didn't go to work, maybe 1 year ago, you don't know what happened to him, but you can speculate. You can say he could have been sick, or he must have been on vacation, or he could have died. You're speculating on the things that could have happened, or he might have, I don't know, forgot the keys. We're just speculating.
Okay.
And well, these are the same as we saw. It can, could have been him. It must not have been him. Might not have been him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
Okay. So if we use this past for speculating and the present.
The same thing, speculating, but about the present. So things that are happening right now. So, I don't know. Or things that could happen in the future as well. Not necessarily in the present, but also in the future. For example, he may not come today, it's in the future. Later today, he may not come. So the present and the future, both.
Okay.
So yeah.
So these are the, I don't know, like these 5 models to use for speculating.
Yeah, for guessing, speculating, the 5 of them.
Okay.
Now, something I wanted to say here regarding pronunciation. So people usually use a lot of contractions here, especially in the past. In the simple present, you cannot do it. But in the past, you tend to contract it when you're speaking. So instead of saying must have been sick, you usually would say something like must have been, you know, so he must have been sick. He may have left early. I don't know if you've noticed, but in English, when we speak fast, usually, and you have a word that starts with H, sometimes, you know that H in English is pronounced as a J in Spanish, right? So have, I don't know, what else? Have, hospital and whatever, or him, her. But when we speak fast, you usually tend to leave the H behind. So for example, when you say something like, I don't know, I wanted to give her something, and you're speaking fast, you just say giver, right? So you left out the H. So give her something or give him something. Or in the same you do here. So you don't say, I must have been. You kind of leave that part and you say, I must have been. Like you had no H in there. He may have left. We might have forgotten.
Made up.
Maria could have been. And you can even do this when you have, I'm sorry?
Pronounce? Could have.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Could have been, yes.
Could have
The
been.
thing, I don't know if you've ever seen this. I think I said this to you once, but even natives, since they pronounce it that way all the time, could have been, must have been, might have been, then they have, I don't know, they have the thought, some people, obviously not everyone, that it's like this, could have been, because of the way it's pronounced, when it's obviously not. So you're gonna see, I've seen this personally, like in Instagram or TikTok, people writing down things like could have been with of, when it's obviously not that way, you know, but because it's pronounced like that, some people believe that that's the way that it should be written. So they don't think it's have, they think it's of.
Like could have been.
So yeah, which is quite funny. But
Yeah.
that's wrong. And you know, writing something like that is, yeah, it's definitely wrong. Not accepted.
Could have been. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. Like, could have been. So it's not like of, it's more like of. Could have been. Could have.
Been.
Could have been.
Must.
Must have. So in that case, you say must have, like this. Must have been.
Must have been. Might have. Might have.
Might have been.
Might have been.
Might have. Something like that. Might have, could have.
Can have.
Usually you would say the whole thing there. I would say can have been. It can have been him, but you can kind of leave the age sometimes. So it can have been him. Can have been him.
Mm-hmm.
Must. And the funny thing is that you can also do this when you have negative ones. So you can say it couldn't.
Couldn't.
Couldn't have been him. Couldn't have been him. So it couldn't have been him. Couldn't have. So yeah. I think that's the only case in which you can contract three words, like could not have, couldn't have, or couldn't have.
Grammatically, it's okay, or
I mean, I think this contraction actually exists, so you can write it down, like maybe when you're texting or something. But it's better if when you're writing something a bit more formal that you write the whole thing, you know, or maybe like this, couldn't have or could not have, especially if you're writing like an essay or a paper, an assignment. So it's better if you just write the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, that's something that you can do, especially when you're speaking.
Okay, could have been.
Good. So yeah, is that okay? Any questions?
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, so let's practice. Theory.
Before we start, when I was doing the assignments in the part of questions,
Okay. Which part?
Transfer the questions to a sentence. Put in the, I don't know the.
Okay. After questions.
Yeah, that's it. Everything was okay. Too clear for me, yes. But when I submit, it was all wrong.
Really? Which one? Was it the first or the
period at the end?
This one here?
Yeah. I mean, all my answers was okay, was perfect, but I forgot the period. And when I
Okay.
it was 1 to 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't that you had some problems, it was the period thing.
Yeah. And I was like 15 minutes analyzing all my answers. Why is that
Okay.
wrong? Because it was the same. I just want to be clear in that point.
Okay, don't worry. Maybe you could do it again. I could reassign you so that we don't
No,
have that score.
you can check it and compare the answers, and then you let me do it again.
Okay, yes, I will.
Uh-huh.
And I will reassign it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. So yeah, I know that happens a lot with this kind of with that kind of when you need to actually write the answer. So yeah. Okay. So let's see. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do this. I think it's about reading different scenarios that we have here presented. And we need to try to think of the things that could happen, that may happen, that might happen. I think this is just for the simple present, then we'll do other for the past. So we need to try to figure out what could happen with these people, depending on the scenario. So can you maybe read the first one?
Okay. Your coworker Young Suk walking to the office. You're surprised because she always drives to work.
Okay, so what would you say? What would you guess? What's happening with Young Suk?
Might have car troubles. That's why she go walking to the office.
Okay, so she may have car troubles. That's why she went walking. Okay, probably. What else could have happened or could happen?
Maybe she may borrow her car to her sister because she had an emergency, and that's why she couldn't drive to work.
Okay. Remember that borrow is you
Oh.
use it the other way around, right?
Yeah.
So
She I don't know. She gives her car to her sister.
usually you use lend when you say like, I'm gonna lend you my car. And if I want to borrow it, then I'm gonna say, can I borrow your car?
Oh.
So lend is like the opposite of borrow. Okay. So actually there's one thing I wanted to say. Right now, for example, you said maybe she may, I don't know, she may have,
The
I'm
two?
sorry?
I'm using maybe and may.
Yes. So do you think that sounds, how does that sound?
Not okay.
Yeah, right?
Like, no, it's like I'm using two models. It sounds like
Okay, it sounds like that, but maybe it's just a word, right? It's not a moral. It's like, so the thing is though, in English, I think people for some reason don't use they use it. I'm not gonna say that they don't, but there are other ways too. So for example, if you just want to guess on what happened to, I'm sorry?
no. Another way.
So for example, if you're just guessing what happened to Young Suk, then you can say maybe she lent her car to her sister. So maybe she did this, or maybe she's having car problems. So you can use maybe, but in that case, you don't have to use a model anymore. You just use the tense that you want. So maybe she's having some car troubles.
But when I use maybe, I can use the present perfect. Is that what you say? Maybe.
No. If you're talking about the past, you're taking a guess in the past, then you just use the simple past. So maybe the car broke down. So maybe her car broke down. The simple past. Right? You don't have to use a modal anymore because you're already saying maybe. You could also say probably. So, you know, her car probably broke down. So you're just guessing her car probably broke down. Or she's probably having some car troubles. So you're not using modals, you're just using probably, maybe. You could also use perhaps, which is a bit more formal. Perhaps this happened. Or you could also use some other phrases, like for example, I guess, which it has different uses. You could say, if you're like almost like 90% sure, you can use I guess. Like, I guess she's having car troubles, or I guess she lent his car to her sister. Or you could also use sometimes I bet when you're almost 100%. Like, I bet I bet her car broke down again. So you have really, like, you're really sure, you're almost sure, but you can bet on something. So I bet her car broke down, or I bet this happened. So those are some expressions.
Okay.
But when you use them, you don't have to use modals anymore.
Yeah, because when you read, it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound so good. Okay. So that was the first one. What about the second one? Can you please read?
Your classmate is sitting with her head in her hands. When you say hi to her, she doesn't answer.
Right. So what may be happening?
She might be in trouble. She might be worried about something.
Right? She might be worried about something. What do you think she's worried about? What could it be?
It could be the curse, the grades that she failed.
Okay, yes. She may have failed a test, probably. What else?
Or maybe, she could have family issues.
Okay, sure. She could have family issues as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And the third one, there's a man standing in the middle of a busy street.
There's a man standing in the middle of a busy street. He might be doing a bet. No.
Okay.
I think that is not okay, the way I say.
What do you want to say?
Cumpliendo.
What do you want to say? Okay. So you could say, usually you use there for that. Bet is more when you bet on just words, you know? So you could say there maybe, or what else? So yeah, I think that would work.
Okay. He might be doing he might be standing there in the middle of a busy street for a dare.
Okay, maybe because of a dare. Yes, or because of a bet. In that case, you could also say.
Because of a bet, yeah. He may be lost in the street in downtown.
Okay, so he may be lost in town. What?
I don't know what else. Why he could be standing in the middle. He might be looking for a signal.
Okay, you might be looking for a signal. Right, what kind of
Signal.
signal?
Phone signal.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about the fourth one? There's a lot of noise coming from your neighbor's apartment.
Sorry. They must have they must have doing a party.
Okay, have doing a party?
No, they must have. Sorry, I was looking for the almost the percent, if they're 100%.
So yeah, it's okay, must. He must.
He must be a party in their neighbor's apartment.
Okay. There must be a party, right? There
Yep.
must be parties. Yes. Must be a party. What else could your neighbor be doing?
He could be watching the game with his friends.
All right, they could be watching a match. What else?
There's a lot of noise. He must have I know, he must. I'm not sure. There's a lot of noise. I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't know what else. What? A party, a game, friends, but it's the same. I don't know what else. They might be having dinner, probably. Andrea?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Andrea? It could have.
What do you think about the last?
The last one. You have just arrived at a restaurant to have dinner.
Well, sorry, okay, I changed words. Okay, so what do you think about the last one? You've just arrived at a restaurant to have dinner. There are a lot of people eating and enjoying themselves inside, but the door is locked. So what do you think is happening there?
These people may these people may having a meeting, a work meeting.
Okay, they may be having a meeting. Yes. What else?
They could be celebrating a birthday, party birthday.
Okay, so yes, they could be celebrating somebody's birthday. What else?
Yeah. They must forget to push close in the door.
Okay, but careful there, right? Because right now you're talking about the past. So after must, you need they must
have put close in the door.
Okay, they must have forgotten, right? The past participle.
They must have forgotten.
Yes, because it's in the past, right? So must have and past participle.
Yeah.
They must have.
Yeah, I know. They must have forgotten putting clothes in the door. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they must have forgotten to put the close sign on the door, right? So to put different than putting in this case.
Yeah, to put is that they didn't do.
Exactly. All right.
I don't know what else.
Yeah, I think that's okay. So they must, yeah, it's probably they're celebrating something like that. And here we have some more. So this is about the past. So we're going to think as many possibilities as we can using those modal verbs that we just saw. So what do you think happened here? The teacher is walking in and no students are there.
The students might have forgotten classes.
Okay, they must have forgotten to go to class. But do you think that all students forgot?
No, I think that the teacher must have forgotten that they will not having that they will not be having classes. No.
Okay. Yeah. That there is something that we're gonna see, which is featuring the past, right? Because we're talking about the past. So she must have forgotten that they weren't going to have class. They weren't gonna have class. Right? Que no iban a tener clase, that they weren't going to have class.
That they were. Yeah.
So, okay.
Confused.
So that, yeah, it's another whole lesson. But basically, when you talk about plans, so future, it's called future in the past. So when you talk about plans or things that were supposed to happen but didn't happen, so things that didn't happen. So I think these are like undone plans, maybe. So you can use was or were going to. So for example, I was going to do this, but I didn't. They were going to have class. They weren't going to have class. So it's like iba a, right? So she must have forgotten that there weren't going to be any classes. Que no iban a haber clases. There weren't going to be classes. You know?
Mhm.
Or you could also use would, but they wouldn't be classes. But we're gonna see that later.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, that's probably what happened. What else could have happened?
She could have been there earlier.
Okay, yes, she could have been there earlier. Maybe, I don't know, maybe her clock wasn't working or something. Or or maybe she's
She
late. Who knows?
she may be no. Might be. She may have been there to prepare their exam.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's another possibility. She
Yeah.
might have been there to prepare her exam. Okay. What about the second picture here? What do you think happened in there?
Well, I'm not sure. People there might have had an emergency. That's why they left.
Okay, nice. They might have had an emergency. But why do you think everything's so messed up? I mean, one chair is dying. So why is it like that?
Mm, uh, maybe they might have been a fight.
Okay, there might have been a fight. Yes, probably.
Yeah.
They didn't get to eat anything. You know?
They didn't finish.
So yeah, I think they started, they didn't finish.
They started, but they didn't finish. I don't know what happened there.
Okay. So yeah, it's probably a fight.
Yeah.
Okay. What about that woman out there? Is she so happy?
She might have been accepted in college or job.
So yeah, she might have been accepted somewhere that she was applying to.
Yeah.
She might have gotten in. What else?
She might have received tickets for a concert.
Okay, probably, yeah, she might have received some tickets for a concert.
Yeah.
Okay.
She might, I usually receive a letter for her grandmother or grandfather. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. She could have received a letter from a relative. And what about the last picture? What could have happened in there?
Someone have entered in that house, or someone has
Okay.
calling something.
Someone, you need a modal, right? So someone.
Someone must have stolen.
Okay. So you have a verb for that. To
Enter. Andrea. Andrea. Romeo, basta. Shh, Romeo. Ven. Ven. Andrea. Pupito, pupito. Ven, 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 ven. Ven. Ven, 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 ven. I can hear you.
all right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I was telling you, usually when you enter a house in order to steal, you have this verb, which is break in. So you break into a house.
Break into the house. Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you think happened in there?
Already. Someone must have broken into a house, into that house.
Okay. Yes, that's one probability. What else? What else could have happened?
A kid might have been playing football. So that's why.
Okay. And
the window.
Okay, he could have broke the window, yes. What else?
I'm not sure. I think that's all the possibilities. Someone break into the house, playing. No, I don't know.
Okay. What about, okay, somebody made up, maybe, I don't know, throw something at the window from the outside.
Could be, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right then. So remember always the modal, have, and then the past participle form of the verb. Okay. Any questions so far about those modal verbs?
No, I got confused with the first picture when you use the present in the past, the future in the past.
Okay. So yes, that's something that we will see. I think it's in the last module. Let's see. Somewhere here, future in the past, I guess. Or maybe in the unit B. But yes, it's a whole unit. So okay, somewhere there. We're gonna be looking at that later.
Step by step.
Yeah, but it's not that. I mean, the good thing is that it's the same as in Spanish, so it should be clear. Okay. Now, before we go, let's do some vocabulary to finish.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have some expressions, some idioms. Okay, so for example, in the video, Amy says to Talia, thanks, but it was nothing, piece of cake, in fact. So piece of cake is one of those idioms. I think it's a very common one. But there are many more. I think English has a lot of idioms. The same is in Spanish, but we're gonna be taking a look at some of them.
A lot of food there.
Yes, most of them are usually about food or about, there are some about sports like baseball or basket, some about business. What else? About body parts for some reason. So yeah.
I can imagine using with a body part.
So yeah, there are many with body parts, I guess. Okay.
Like,
so let's take a look.
Yeah, in theater, broke your leg or something like that.
Like in theater, yes, break a leg is like good luck, break a leg, go kill them, break a leg.
No.
So yeah, it's like I'm all ears too. When you're listening to somebody, I'm all ears. Or what else? To have an eye on somebody. So yeah, they're usually related though to the senses, I guess, like, so yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the ones we have here. Now the first one is a piece of cake. I'm sure you know that one.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? So it's like pan comido in Spanish, right? Something that's super easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You also have that one. So it's a piece of
yeah, I think.
And you know what the opposite of that is?
No.
You can say rocket science. So that's something too
all the
hard.
cake.
So yeah, rocket science.
Rocket science.
That's too hard. It's like rocket science. Okay. So here we have one, a rotten apple. Do you know what that means?
A rotten apple. No.
Well, it's the same as in Spanish. We have that expression as well, like manzana podrida. So someone who's dishonest and has a bad.
Someone who is dishonest. Yeah, it has a bad effect on others, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
It only takes one rotten apple. It's usually used with this. It only takes one rotten apple. All the rest are gonna be sooner or later.
But you can use it like you're a rotten apple in this class. Or
Okay, so
No, it's okay. I was saying like you can say you are a rotten apple in this class.
yeah, you can use it individually, a rotten apple, like an adjective, or like with the whole expression.
Okay.
So yes. And we have a smart cookie.
Someone who's smart.
Yeah, exactly. It's another way to say smart. Smart cookie.
But confident. Confiado.
No, confident means like seguro de sí mismo. So he's confident. He's confident. So yeah. Now to beef something up. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Okay, maybe you can read.
To improve something, especially to make it stronger or more interesting.
So yeah, it's basically improve. There's another one as well, which is level something up. So we're gonna level this up, right? So it's the same. It's like make it better, improve. It's a phrasal verb.
Can you explain me in a sentence?
Yes, for example, I don't know, we're gonna, okay, maybe we're gonna beef, I don't know, we're gonna beef the grades up. So it means we're gonna make them better. We're gonna beef, I don't know, we're gonna beef our project up. So we're gonna make it better. We're gonna improve it or level it up, as I was saying. So it's make it better, basically, or improve something. Like add to it something, you know, like it's usually an extra thing. It's not that it's a bad, I mean, when you say, for example, we're gonna, I don't know, like this one, beef up security. So it doesn't mean that security is bad right now, but you're gonna add something to it. You know, you're gonna make it even better. It's like maybe, I don't know, like add something extra, you know?
In case of smartphones, I don't know. The last one, the 13 iPhone. To the can you explain me in one sentence?
So sure, you can use that with technology. With let's say the new iPhone, you can say I don't know if you're gonna. I mean, it's allegedly the new one is better than the last one, right? And so you could say they beef up the new iPhone, so or the last iPhone in that case. So they made it better. They improved it. So it's like yes, like they made it better. So, or they level up the new iPhone or the last iPhone. It's like it was already good, but they made it even better. But usually it doesn't mean change things, right? Because with iPhones, you're not really improving the one that you have. You're releasing a new one. So it's a bit different than that. It's just what you have, you're making it better. So we're gonna beef up your essay, maybe. So if you're writing an essay and you wanna add some things that are gonna make them better, so you're gonna beef up your essay.
Okay. These expressions, I can use it in my in essays or in the writing part.
Of the test, of the TOEFL test?
Yeah, or are there are informal.
They are informal. So I wouldn't use it. It is a good idea to use some expressions, but more formal ones, like
Level.
I'm sorry?
Like in level up.
Yes, level up you could use instead of improve. I mean, not because it's better, but because it's a phrasal verb, you know? So it's good to use phrasal verbs. I would, instead of using an idiom, I would try to use like a saying, you know, like a refrain, a saying in English. So something that, like, maybe to prove your argument. So if you're saying something like, maybe, I don't know, do you know any sayings? Can you give me an example
No, I
of
don't
one?
know.
Like maybe okay. So the early bird catches the seed, right? It's like, al que madruga Dios le ayuda in English. So
Yeah.
if your essay is on, I don't know, is on how to, like, I don't know, maybe, do you prefer to work in the morning or in the afternoon? Because that's the kind of thing that you're going to have to write about. So you can use it as one of your arguments. You could say, it's better to work in the morning because I don't know, you have more opportunities. And you could say, as the saying goes, the early bird catches the seed. So you can maybe use something like that, a saying, but not an idiom. You know, it's not that formal.
Okay.
So yes. But phrasal verbs, yes, I think that's a good thing to use, both in the speaking and in the writing.
Okay.
Now the next one is to batter somebody up. So do you know that one?
Hacer enojar, molestar. No.
No, actually the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like to flatter someone or compliment someone. And that means like darle cumplidos a alguien, right? So to batter someone up. It comes from like when you batter your bread up, you know, butter is mantequilla. So like mantequillar a alguien, it means like to flatter somebody. So you're trying to batter me up. So you're telling me nice things about myself so that I can, you know,
Shine.
maybe favor. Yes, exactly. Like echarle flores, I think we have in Spanish, right? So yeah, batter someone up. So
Say
you really,
someone will do what you want.
so yeah. Usually when you're about to ask favors, you go and batter somebody up. So you're like, oh, you look nice today. Have you done anything to your hair? And then you ask a favor, you know, so you're batting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salame.
Yes, kind of. But I think salamero has like a negative implication, you know, it's like I think that will be more like to be a sucker. So that's like salamero. So you're constantly there, like, you know, like doing everything that person says and being exactly how the person wants you to be and agreeing to everything that that person says. So you're sucking it to somebody. It has a very negative implication, to be honest. So it's almost like cursing, I would say. It's a bad word. You shouldn't use it. So. Okay. So yeah, but this one it's in a positive way. So you're just buttering somebody up. You're like flattering that person. It's not a bad thing.
You're battering. Okay.
So yeah. Now to go bananas. It's a good one.
I never heard that, but
Okay, it means to go nuts, to go crazy.
very angry.
So, basically, enloquecer, like go nuts or go crazy, or you could also say go insane or go out of your mind. There are many expressions, but it's basically to go crazy, to go bananas. So you're losing it. Or freak out is another synonym. You know, he's gonna freak out if you forget his birthday again. He'll go bananas. He'll go nuts, go crazy. So it's yeah, enloquecer. Then we have to have an egg on your face or to have egg on your face.
No.
So this is pretty much to feel embarrassed about something that you just did. So it's like, I don't know, I guess because, you know, having an egg on your face would be really embarrassing. Maybe that's why we use it. But it's like, I'm embarrassed to do this. So I have egg on my face for this reason, or because I did this thing, because maybe I fell down when I was walking to the aisle. So I have egg on my face. I don't think there's an expression for that in Spanish.
No.
But it's like, yeah, estar avergonzado de algo. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, pie in the sky.
What does that mean?
This is like wishful thinking. So it's kind of a synonym. It's like something that's never gonna happen. You know how some people are like living their dream in a certain world that's not really down to earth. So by the way, here's another expression. The opposite of that will be to be down to earth. So down to earth is like tener los pies en la tierra. So a pie in the sky is the opposite of that. So it's something that's unrealistic, that's probably never gonna happen. So it's just like daydreaming.
Mm-hmm.
So the city's plan for a new stadium are just pie in the sky. They're never gonna come true. It's like, it's totally unrealistic, never gonna happen. You could also say, yes, down to earth, it means it's very realistic. It's actually something that could happen. It's very down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
You could also say it's up in the air, and that means it's like en las nubes, it's up in the air. Your promises are up in the air, so they are
in the sky.
Yes,
Okay.
they don't mean anything because they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have small potatoes.
No.
Maybe you know big fish. That's the opposite of small potatoes. So small potatoes means something that's insignificant, that's not that important, that's basically not worth it, you know? Well, big fish is the opposite. It's something that like too important. It's really significant, really important that you take care of that.
A little business was small potatoes compared to. No, okay.
So yeah. You could also say to this to one person, like you're small potatoes, I'm a big fish. You know, so like I'm the big man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then we have sour grapes. So basically this is like I guess it comes from from the taste maybe, you know, like a bad attitude that makes people criticize why they can have. It's like envy, maybe.
Mal
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Como que te deja un mal sabor o.
Yes, exactly. It's like yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, like I envy this person, so I have like these sour grapes with them. So she said Bob shouldn't have gotten a raise, but that was just sour grapes because the boss didn't give her one. So it was just envy, you know? She was just envying him.
Just sour grapes.
So
But what they can have. Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you give me another example or sour grapes?
Okay. To be honest, it's not that used. I haven't heard it that much. But maybe we could say, I don't know.
Or another way to say that.
Another way to say it, usually just envy, you know, people are more likely to say it just like that, envy. So it was just envy, or she was, yeah, envying him. So maybe, I don't know, what else? So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's another expression like that. So maybe just envy. Sour grapes. Yeah, it's not that common. Any questions about any of the expressions?
No, I think it's clear.
All right.
Thank you.
So hold on. I'm gonna. Okay, so we're gonna match the meanings to the expressions. So what's a person who affects other people badly?
A rotten apple.
Or when you feel foolish or embarrassed?
Go bananas.
Are you sure?
No, have egg on your face.
Yes, have it on your face. When you get very stressed out?
Go bananas.
Yes. Something that's not hard?
Piece of cake.
And something that you hope for but you doubt will happen?
High in the sky.
High in the sky. Something really unrealistic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was great. 5 out of 5. Okay. Now, any questions for today before we go?
No. Oh yeah, please don't forget review the assignments of the questions.
Will do. I'll do it right now, and I'll assign you right now too.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. Okay. So the survey's out there already. I think this time you got some more questions. So you can just answer them.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mafe. See you on Wednesday. Right?
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Goodbye. Take care.
You too.